Hey guys, Cincinnati 970171. Monday morning. Heading off. Thought I'd do a video. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Doing the same run that I did on the last video. Cincinnati to Rochester, Rochester to Delphi, Delphi back to Cincinnati. Oh, that's nice. Turn off the diff lock. That's an easy one to forget, by the way, guys. The diff lock there. For whatever reason in this truck, it doesn't put a warning up on the dash telling you the diff lock's on, and sometimes in the daylight, where are you going, buddy? Sometimes in the daylight it's kind of hard to see the green light. It sounds weird, but I have found myself on numerous occasions driving, you know, get a couple miles up the road and you happen to look down and see it, and you get into a shadow or something, and you see that your diff lock's on. That's not good. Most other trucks that I've driven have a, there's probably a light on the switch, but usually there's a warning indicator on the dash too, which is kind of nice, but I mean, it's a pretty bright green light, so I'm guessing they just figured, you know, who's not going to be able to see that, and that's probably true for the most part, but it just always seems like in bright sunlight, sometimes it's easy to miss. I wanted to get your guys' opinion. I'm thinking about, I got a video posted about the International Truck Review. I think it says on the inside. Wanted to get your guys' opinion. Thinking about pulling that video off YouTube. I appreciate all the positive comments, and I have gotten quite a few of those. But you know, hey, thanks for the heads up, or, you know, it's, you know, but I get an awful lot of negative comments on that too. There's a guy that back and forth a couple of times with him, calling me a wuss and a pussy, and, you know, drive a real truck and all this bullshit. I've been driving a truck for 30 years, and back when I started, we didn't have this and we didn't have that, and you're a wuss for thinking that's not a good truck, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, shut the fuck up, moron. It's a fucking review. It's my opinion. I've driven this truck and this truck and this truck, and out of all those three, this one sucked the most. What's hard to understand about that? Not saying it's a bad truck. It's an opinion. You know, we are allowed to have those. Personal opinions. I didn't like it. Didn't feel comfortable to me. The shifter was too far over here. Whatever I said, I don't even fucking remember. If you're 6'5", maybe it was perfectly comfortable for you. It's called an opinion. So anyway, leave it up to you guys. I've been replying to these guys, and I apologize. I got a little crappy with this guy. He's gone back and forth with me a couple of times, and, you know, when you start off your comment with, "You're a fucking pussy," yeah, I tend to not respond kindly. I'm usually a pretty easygoing type guy. You guys probably know that. But I don't really appreciate being called a pussy by somebody that doesn't even know me, based on the fact that I didn't like a truck that he likes. I mean, really? What are we, fucking 5-year-old children here? You know? It's like everyone should drive a Chevy Cavalier or a Ford Taurus. You know, Ford Taurus is the best car ever. Everyone should drive a Ford Taurus. Really? I mean, grow up. You know? And he commented that he's had 35 years safe driving, and I congratulated. I said, congratulations on that. But it doesn't change the fact that you're a fucking moron. It says clearly, International Truck Review. That means opinion. God almighty. Anyway, enough of that shit. So let me know what you guys think. I may pull the thing. I just get tired of, you know, I get tired of people like that. What I could do is just, you know, block them when I get a comment like that, but I don't really like blocking people. It's kind of not my personality either. I'd rather just debate you on the fact, you know. But it's kind of hard to debate somebody when they start off by calling you a pussy. You're a pussy, you're a wuss, you're this, you're that. It's the best truck ever. And they don't say why, they don't give an explanation. You know. Oh, it's just their opinion. Wow. They're allowed to have an opinion, but I'm not. Yeah. So, anyway, that's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. And that video in particular of all of mine seems to attract those people a lot. You know. And it's not that great of a fucking video anyway. I mean, I do comment about some things on the interior that I didn't like, and I think I made some comment that the truck felt like it was built in the 1970s, or anyway. You know what? I think it's fucking recording. Yeah, it is. New GoPro just came out. I'm glad I didn't buy one. I'd have been pissed. The new Hero HD 2 is out, and it looks exactly like the one I have, except that it'll do 1080p high def. It's an 11 megapixel camera instead of 5, which is what this is, and it'll do slow motion video and some other interesting things in the lower resolutions. Great. I hate when this happens at this intersection. It's always, you got to be careful that somebody doesn't come around to your right. You used to hang out in the right lane there, which is what they would teach you to do in truck driving school. But then the problem is you end up in this lane over here, and I need to be in the left lane to get to I-75, and inevitably you can't get over. So I just started hanging out in the left lane and claiming a little bit of that lane. You just got to be careful when you do that. Fortunately, when you're sitting there, you can look and see that there's nobody to your right when you make the move. So it seems like the safest thing to do. Oh, back to the Hero. Yeah, it's cool. 1080p. You can put it's as with the last HD model, the battery can be recharged in the camera. The negative is that it's a standard battery. It's not a. This runs on AAA's, so you can just pack AAA's. And the new Hero cameras are a battery pack. I mean, I guess you could carry extra packs with you, but it is cool that you can charge it in the camera. At least I believe that's the case. So you can plug the camera into a USB port, you know, and charge it without having to have additional stuff with you. So I mean, there's positives and negatives. But the Hero 2 is 1080p. It'll take up to a 32 gig card, I think they said. Whatever the battery life is, and it has an external microphone input. Yay! Because the mic sucks on this thing. It doesn't do bad. Like in the truck here, it works pretty well actually. But on my motorcycle, it just, when you put it inside the housing, it's terrible. So, But I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it's pretty cool. So I just happened to see that the other day. It's $300, which is the same price as the other one was. So, I mean, I'm not going to be getting one anytime soon, quite frankly, because I got other stuff on my plate, which I'll get into here in a minute. But it is something to look forward to getting in the future. Maybe the price comes down a little bit, you know, in a little while, $250 or $275 or something like that. But the topic, though, I think I want to get onto is, what do you guys think is going on in the world? Sat around with a longtime friend of mine. We've been friends for 25 plus years, and I sat around at the diner, you know, had about 50 cups of coffee, decaf for me, and yeah, listening to the radio and talking with other people, and then talking with my friend. I just wondered whether you guys feel the same way. That do you feel like something is gonna happen? And I'm gonna use the term that it seems to be thrown around a lot, and I think it's because everyone kind of feels the same way. Everyone is referring to the zombie apocalypse, and people kind of chuckle about that. But and no, I'm not saying I'm not trying to get to the point that, you know, yeah, there's gonna be zombies or something. And I think that term kind of became popular with that recent TV series, The Walking Dead. But that's the generic term everybody seems to use. Is, well, you better stock up on your ammo and get some more guns for the zombie apocalypse. But when you actually start to talk to people, you know, and I've sat at the counter at a truck stop, or, you know, conversed with some people via email, there's an awful lot of people that have this just kind of gut feeling that something is coming, and it isn't good, but they don't know what it is. You know, some people will be like, "Wow, it's Obama," you know, and I'm not an Obama fan by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think that's it. It just feels like there's tension. You know, obviously we've got the economic trouble, which is sort of continuing to persist. Worried economy in Europe. The Arab Spring, they call it, I guess, where, you know, there are people protesting all over the Arab nations, and tensions with China, although not directly with us, strangely. Actually, I kind of have this strange instinctual feeling that whatever it is that's going to happen, we're going to find ourselves amongst allies. I'm talking country-wise, you know, United States and other countries. We're going to find ourselves with allies that we never had before. Some we have. And I almost feel like that we're going to find ourselves, for some reason, you know, fighting on the same side as China, Japan, other Southeast Asian countries, Australia perhaps. And whatever's going to happen is going to be something that nobody really expected, or that we kind of knew could happen. kind of hard to describe. But I mean, my friend Chad and myself, neither one of us have ever been hunting. We've always wanted to do that. I love the outdoors. I used to love camping and stuff, and I just never really have the time to do it. And of late, we've been talking about wanting to learn how to hunt. You know, I've never had to kill anything to eat it, and I'd like to do that. Not that I like to kill things, but that you know, I'd like to learn how to be more self-sufficient. Now, I mean, I'm a reasonably smart guy, and I've seen some videos. I could probably figure it out. You know, how to cut an animal open and gut it and prepare it and skin it, and I mean, yeah, I can probably figure that out. But I have never actually done it. And my friend is this way too. He's thinking that he'd like to learn how to do this stuff. And for him, it's maybe a little bit more about, he's more interested in deer hunting, although he wants to start with smaller animals, I think, just to sort of learn what the hell you're doing. And, you know, he wants to put that you know, meat in the freezer is his kind of his goal, and to learn how to be more self-sufficient. And I'm the same way. And I've kind of been having these feelings that, you know, something is out there lurking. And maybe that's what's so kind of unnerving about it, is it's almost the, it's almost like that. It's like the unknown evil lurking in the dark. And, you know, if it was just me, or it was just one of my friends, I would kind of just pass it off as, no, you know, you watched too many scary movies or something. But there's an awful lot of people, you know, people that I respect, people that I know just as an acquaintance, that, you know, they're pretty level-headed people, and there's an awful lot of people that seem to just, it's almost at an instinctual level that something is wrong. And I almost kind of wonder whether, you know, that the Occupy movement is tied in with that, the Tea Party is tied in with that, maybe, that something is wrong. Now, I realize the Tea Party is fed up with government, and so are the occupiers in a lot of ways. They actually share more than they'd like in opinion, although radically different solutions for how you solve those problems. But the similarity ends about the fact that there are problems with government and excessive corporate stuff, you know. But what you do about it is, boy, that truck's smoking. Woo! So, as a result, I enjoy going to the gun shows and looking around, and I went up to the gun show in Dayton, mostly just to look around. I live in Kentucky, so I actually can't purchase, well, I could purchase a shotgun, but not much more than that. And with the holidays, they didn't have enough cash to actually really buy anything expensive, so I'm going to have to wait till next payday, or maybe the payday after, or maybe after the holidays, to go and get what I want to get, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But I started thinking about, you know, my wife and I, what would we need to survive? You know, she's a deputy, you know, she's not afraid of guns, she was raised on a farm, you know, used to, you know, water from the well. I mean, you know, she lived out there on that property where that video I posted about the driving around, you know, and I showed you the property there, and she lived there. That's where they lived, out in the holler. And when she was young, And so, I mean, I'm fortunate that I've got a wife that, you know, knows how to handle herself and not afraid of a weapon, not afraid to use it. Believe me, you know, she's I'm lucky in that regard. I don't really worry about her when she's out running around on her own. Not only do I know that she's got a .357 in her purse, or her duty weapon on her side, but even without a firearm, most people, she could bring them to the ground and put their face in the concrete without any trouble. And so I don't worry about her that much. She can take care of herself, and I'm glad for that. And I know she could defend me, and I could defend her, which is good too. But we've been talking about trying to become a little bit more prepared, and I've posted some videos about the Mountain House freeze-dried meals and some other things. And I would say that she and I are more prepared than most people. You know, we've got enough food to probably last us a couple of weeks, water to last us a couple of weeks. You know, just in case, you know, hurricane or, I mean, not around here, but, you know, I'm just an example. You know, if something like Hurricane Katrina happened, or a tornado, or something happened that just, you know, you're on your own for a week or two, you know, we'd be able to make it. I got a small generator with enough fuel to last us several days of continuous use. Some big batteries and some inverters to provide light without the generator running. And I had an opportunity to buy a big ass battery off of a friend of mine, and it's a huge ass thing. I don't know. It's huge. He got it for a cheap price and ended up selling the car it was going to go in, and asked me if I wanted to buy it for what he had paid for it, which was like $25. And I'm like, sure. I mean, it's a huge battery for $25. It's like a $150 battery, and he got it for $25 because it had a core charge on the other one that was bad. And then the car blew up or something happened, and he just asked me if I wanted the battery. And I'm like, hell yeah. So, you know, I did some testing with it, and I've got a small inverter. I got a bigger inverter too in this truck, but I've got a smaller inverter that is quiet, doesn't have a fan in it or anything. It's totally silent. And I hooked it up, the battery up to the inverter, and ran 3 100-watt compact fluorescent bulbs, and they ran for almost 12 hours before I decided I had to cancel the I wasn't able to watch it any farther, and I didn't want to leave them plugged in like that, unattended, you know. So I unplugged them and let it go. But the battery was still showing 12 volts, you know, at the time I stopped. So I want to repeat that test and find out exactly how long they'll run. But I'm thinking I could get 24 hours straight. Yeah, that lane ends, moron. Sometimes wish you just go like that and put his ass in the fucking wall for being a moron. Dumbass. Where was I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, anyway, so my wife and I are more prepared than most people. I'd like to be more prepared. I'd probably like to have about double the amount of freeze-dried food. We've got other foods. We have a lot of cans of soup and cans of beans and things. We could certainly survive. But those Mountain House meals, I highly recommend those. I know there's some other brands that I have not tried that are good. Don't get the Coleman ones at Walmart. They're okay, but they're not good, and they're the same price as they're the same price as the Mountain House meals used to be. And the Mountain House meals are just way better. They're simpler. You just open the package, pour the boiling water in it, close it up, and let it go. The Mountain House, Coleman meals, generally you got to pour the hot water in, and then open up another packet and dump that in, and stir it up, and it's just, and they don't taste that good. They're almost all of them are pasta. It's a pasta of some kind with some kind of sauce. There really isn't like chunks of meat or vegetables. It's all like pasta with a sauce, and it's not that good. The Mountain House meals have big chunks of meat and potatoes and veggies, and it tastes like more like a real meal. You can get those at Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, and you can get them on the internet too. Strangely though, you can't get them as cheap as they used to be at Walmart. They used to be $5 at Walmart. Most places they're between $6 and $9 at Bass Pro Shop. That's what they run. So, but you can pick them up locally at a Bass Pro, Cabela's, or one of the other, maybe Dick's. Kind of hanging right there behind me. Wasn't sure what the hell he was doing, and I wasn't sure what the speed limit was right there. Coming out of the construction, I was pretty sure it already had gone to 65, but I wasn't totally sure. So we've got the food thing mostly covered, and that's easy enough to stock up on. The one thing we don't really have enough of is a way to defend ourselves. Got enough guns. Got a nice 40 caliber Springfield XDM. Enough magazines. I've got a 9mm. I've got a 380. Got a 22 rifle, which is a great thing to have around. She's got a 357. I've got another old 9mm that it shoots, but it's not a great gun. I haven't shot it in years and years and years. But we have plenty of weapons, but what we don't have enough of is magazines and ammunition. If you got into a situation with a zombie apocalypse where you ended up being in a situation defending yourself against multiple enemies, not a good time to have to reload your one magazine that you have for that gun. So, started trying to prioritize what do we need to sort of top off and become a little bit more prepared. And I don't want to be, and I'm not knocking these people by any stretch. I don't think she and I need to be stocking up on 2,000 rounds of ammunition. Okay. First of all, I don't have a place to put it that's safe, that's defendable. I can't trust leaving it down there at the property, because it'll get stolen, probably. So, whatever we have has to be enough to protect us, but enough to be pourable and transportable quickly. Oh shit, the shit hit the fan, throw all the shit in the car, and head out to the country, And hopefully you can get there. That's the bad thing. We live kind of far away from that property. So I started prioritizing, and I thought, well, 9mm is good, it's cheap, generally considered to be enough to stop an intruder. The 380 is a little bit light, it's also more expensive to shoot. However, the 380 I have is a great gun, and I'm very accurate with it, so shot placement is everything, I think. So I started thinking about let's get the magazines. Jumping back out on the interstate. I wonder why. He pulled out like he was gonna turn around, and then he didn't. So now he's going to turn around at a different location. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracted by the police officer back there. I was just wondering what he was doing. He was going to turn around, and then he backed up and pulled back out on the interstate, and then, so I just didn't know what the hell he was doing, or what he saw. Anyway, so more magazines for the 9mm. It's pretty cheap to do that. Pick up like 2 more. That gives me 3. 3 10-round mags. She's got 3 16-round mags for her 40. And start with that. You know, get more ammunition for the weapons we already own, all of which are reliable and we shoot reasonably well. The next thing to think about is what additional types of weapons might be good to have. We have handguns. I've got a .22 rifle, and you should never discount a .22 rifle. Decent velocity. Mine holds 18 rounds. It's an old one, a tube underneath the barrel, 18 plus 1, and I'm good with it. Believe me, 22 with the right shot placement, you know, it's absolutely lethal, no problem. And you know, you got multiple rounds coming down at you. You know, it's a good weapon to have. It's also very inexpensive to shoot. I'm gonna put the thing down here because I gotta go in the weigh station. I don't want to pause it. I just want to keep yapping. And they're gonna make me weigh. Figured they would. There.
Line scale, bring in your tractor and trailer registration logbook, bills for me.
Well, that's the first time that's happened, guys. They pulled me in. It was at 35,000 pounds on the trailer wheel and 30,000 on the damn drive wheels.